Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Data Carrot. In today's session, we will be covering the classic SQL interview question of finding employees who earn more than their managers. This question is a favorite among interviewers, especially at companies such as Deloitte, EY and TCS, because it tests a fundamental relational database concept, how to compare rows within the exact same table. If you are a beginner, don't worry. We are going to break down the logical complexity and completely solve this using two distinct ways. Let's get started. Let's look at our data source first. When we encounter this problem in an interview, you'll usually be given a single table, often called employee. Take a closer look at the schema on the screen. We have 4 columns: ID, name, salary, and manager ID. For a beginner, this is where the confusion usually starts. You might ask, where is the manager table? There isn't one. In efficient database design, a manager is just another employee. Therefore, the manager's data lives in the exact same table. Look at row number 1. Joe has a salary of 70,000 and his manager ID is 3. To figure out who Joe's manager is, we have to look up the employee whose ID equals to 3. If we scan down the table, ID 3 belongs to Sam, who makes 60,000. By looking at this manually, we can see that Joe makes 70,000 and his manager Sam makes only 60,000. Joe qualifies for our list. Our goal is to write a query that performs this exact lookup and comparison automatically for millions of rows. The first and the most professional way to solve this is using a technique called self-join. Since we only have one physical table, how do we compare employees row to their manager's row? We mentally clone the table. Imagine the employee table and make an exact photocopy of it. Place the two tables side by side on your desk. We will call the left copy as E, which represents our employees, and we will call the right copy as M, which represents our managers. Our strategy follows 3 steps. First, we virtually clone it. Second, we connect them by linking the manager ID from employee side to the actual ID on the manager side. Third, we filter out the rows where employee salary isn't greater than the manager's salary. Let's see what it looks like in actual SQL. Here is the exact code for the self-join method. Let's read it together. Select E.employee name as the employee from employee table E, where we join the employee table again, naming it as M, on the key of E.manager ID equals to M.id, where our E.salary is greater than M.salary. This might look a little confusing for beginners, but when this query runs, the SQL query builds a virtual matrix where Joe's row from table E is joined to Sam's row from table M. Because they are now on the exact same row in our virtual results, the database engine can instantly execute the where clause and check if 70,000 is greater than 60,000. If it's true, Joe's name is sent to the final output. Let's look at the absolute mechanics of this syntax, so you can write it without memorizing it. First, let's talk about the table aliases. Notice the letters E and M right after the table names in from employee E and join employee M. Those are the nicknames. If you omit those letters and write where employee.salary is greater than employee.salary, the database engine will crash. It exactly has no idea which copy of the table you are referring to. The aliases E and M give SQL explicit instructions. Next, look at the on clause. On E.manager ID is equal to M.id. This is the bridge. It tells our SQL code, take an employee from the employee table, look at their manager's ID, go find the person in the manager's table who owns that ID. Finally, the where clause where E dot salary is greater than M dot salary. This is the straightforward mathematical comparison where we explicitly pull the salary from the employee and compare it to the salary of the manager. Now let's look at an alternative method which uses entirely different logic pattern called as correlated subquery. Instead of duplicating the tables and laying them side by side, imagine you're reading the original table row by row with a magnifying glass. Look at Joe's row. You see his salary is 70,000 and his manager's ID is 3. You hold your finger on Joe's row, quickly jump down the table to find ID 3. You find Sam, who makes 60,000. Then jump back to Joe's row and make the comparison. In data analytics, this is called an inner lookup or a subquery. Let's examine how you write this in a code. Take a look at the subquery syntax on your screen. Let's analyze how the database evaluates this. The database looks at the outer query first, the select name from employee as E. For every single row it processes, it stops and runs the code inside the parenthesis. If it's looking for Joe, it runs the inner query select salary from employee M, where m.id equals to 3. This inner query passes back the number 60,000 to the outer query. The outer query then simplifies to where salary greater than 60,000. This approach is intuitive to read, but it mirrors how human brain looks up data manually. However, remember, because this inner query has to execute over and over again, it can become incredibly slow, especially for large-scale production datasets. Both the methods give exactly the same answer. Which one should you use in an interview? Let's look at the comparison table. The method 1 or the self-join is generally considered the industry standard for this problem. Because database engines are highly optimized for joins, SQL can look at indexes of both the tables and merge them effectively in memory all at once. The method 2 or the subquery is readable, but it scales terribly. In computer science terms, its performance can degrade to O of n square if you have a million rows. It could theoretically trigger a million subquery lookups. In an interview setting, write the self-join first. It shows the interviewer that you understand database performance much better. Before we close out, here are 3 tips that will help you ace the question in real interviews. Start with asking about equality. The moment the interviewer gives you the problem, ask them, should I include employees who earn exactly the same amount as their manager or only the ones who earn more? This shows your attention to detail. Be consistent with your naming, especially for tables or their aliases, and don't use letters like X and Y. Try to use something related to the table names. It makes your code more readable to the interviewer. Mention about query performance and scalability. Tell them your reason to choose your self-join approach, as it handles millions of rows much better than a nested loop subquery. With this, we come to an end. I hope you liked the video and found it useful. Please like, share and subscribe, and leave your questions behind in the comment section. Stay tuned for more such videos.